own flower shop.
They were lovely. It was very cordial.
But following calm can come a storm.
Mark had a complete obsession with us. He was very creepy, very weird, very odd. It was sheer terror. All hell broke loose that night. I was going to rip them apart.
I know what you did.
Get out of my neighborhood!
Stay away from my wife! Goes around now!
Located in Hamilton, Ontario, the neighborhood of West Mountain is a haven for many hardworking families.
West Mountain in Hamilton is mostly single-family residence homes, big yards, big houses.
The odd little cluster of townhomes close to the escarpment in Hamilton, which is quite a nice area.
West Mountain is where Kathy Sienna and her daughter call home.
My parents said they were getting a divorce. My mom found a house on the West Mountain, so I moved in with her. I moved into my home on Magnolia, and it was a duplex with open concept.
It's looking great, Mom.
Thanks. The secret is the TLC gets from my beautiful assistant.
You know, our house was the social center, always something on the go. It was very, very busy, very social.
Also living with them is Kathy's son, Mitchell.
How am I going to tinker with that thing for? Call a mechanic already.
Where's the fun in that?
Kathy works as an office manager and is a recent paralegal graduate. Alex is a paralegal at a traffic defense firm.
Mitchell worked at a car body shop, so he was always working on a car.
Just don't work out all night and be late for dinner. I'm gonna go inside and wash up.
Okay.
Living next door to the Sienna family are the Ducketts,
Hi, Kathy.
Annette and Paul,
Hey, guys.
and their adopted son, Mark.
They were lovely. They were older than myself.
Wow, look at this.
You really should open your own flower shop.
So it was very cordial. No issues. Hi, bye. How's your day? Your flowers look nice.
Annette and Paul Duckett are retired. 26-year-old Mark works off and on as an HVAC technician.
When he was born, Mark Duckett was immediately remanded into Child Protective Services. He spent 2 years in care before he was adopted by Annette and Paul Duckett.
Doing okay, you got a smoke?
Mark next door would come over, you know, hey, bud, do you have a smoke? Do you have a smoke? And of course, Mitchell would give it to him, give it to him.
Boshi Quinn.
Yeah, but not today, right?
Hey, Mark, can you give me a hand in the kitchen? Thanks.
Thanks again.
Definitely not a friendship, but definitely like a cordial, neighborly, you know, interactions.
For now, tranquility rules in West Mountain.
Can I come in?
No,
But things will soon deteriorate.
All my family now?
he was always very strange. Just a strange person.
Can you give us a break, man?
Mitchell would work late, and then he would be tinkering on whatever car he had at that time.
Thank you. Got any smokes?
Mark would just appear like out of nowhere.
Look, man, I'm not your endless source of free cigarettes.
Of course not.
My brother Mitchell was just trying to be nice. One time I was home and I heard a knock at the door. I answered the door. I was the only one there at that time.
Hey, is Mitchell home?
Are you a friend of his?
I just wanted to bum a smoke.
I did not know his name was Mark Duckett. I just knew he was the neighbor and he asked if my brother was home.
He's not home right now. Okay. Bye.
I definitely had my guard up. The alarm bells, they were dinging for sure.
You know, maybe Mark was reaching out and trying to be friends. Maybe this was his way of connecting with people. Certainly smoking is a social activity. I mean, it doesn't seem completely abnormal, but what it demonstrates is a lack of sort of boundaries.
Hey, Mitchell. Just knocking on your door. Got any smokes?
Okay, Mark, this gotta stop right now.
There's okay, but not the knocking on the door and asking for cigarettes specifically.
Bother my family now? We're done. I don't have smokes for you, okay?
He kind of felt like that was crossing the line.
It probably wasn't a big deal for Mitch to just stop interacting with Mark. What Mark felt on the other side of that, it could have been a massive blow, you know, to his self-esteem, to his sense of self.
Eventually, Mitchell moves out of his mom's house.
Mitchell moved in with his girlfriend.
Drive careful. Please call me when you get there.
Okay. I miss you.
I'll miss you too.
So he was starting a new life.
I think this relationship between Mark and Mitchell, I believe the Sienna family perceived it as very one-sided. So despite Mark's willingness to open up and connect with Mitchell, it doesn't feel like that was necessarily reciprocated.
With Mitchell now out of the picture, Mark becomes reclusive.
For an extended period of time, I didn't even know he lived there anymore because I didn't see him for a long time. But when I did see him, he was strange, kept to himself, quiet, almost like withdrawn.
The Sienna household gains new additions when Kathy's eldest son Nico and his girlfriend Jennifer move in.
Hi. Well, they were renting an apartment. It was expensive, and it was hard for kids to get ahead, and I just wanted them to be able to save for their future. He was a manager for CarStar Canada. He would oversee the operations of 25 different collision centers.
The heck you packing here, like 20 bowling balls?
Right around the time that Nico and Jen moved in, Mark's behavior became increasingly weirder and weirder.
Looks like we've got some new neighbors.
Nico and Jen's arrival next door triggers something in Mark's perception of reality.
Can you believe we live next to a loser like Mark?
Yeah, you should be stuck in it.
What a freak.
Loser.
Pathetic.
Freak!
Oh, man. We should go bowling next weekend, though.
Okay, yeah.
It's only a matter of time before things turn dark and dangerous.
Hi. I want to talk to you about Mark.
What about him? He went from 0 to 100 in minutes.
This guy is weird, this guy's creepy. I feel really uneasy around him.
We know that Mark's behavior seems to worsen after Nico moves in, but we don't know why. Is this still a fallout from Mitch's departure?
Hey, can you hold the bag steady, please? Thank you. You need help, or? That's okay. You need me to do that too, or?
Yeah. It seems that Mark had developed a belief that he was being watched by his neighbors.
Can't hide from us.
The goings-on in the yard of the Sienna home, Mark was interpreting that as a threat to his safety, privacy, and security.
Here, why don't I finish this? You go inside.
You sure?
Yeah. Just go check on your mom, okay?
Okay.
He's experiencing the world as someone in an early state of psychosis that's being projected upon the Sienna family.
Nico Sienna decides to raise the issue of Mark's odd demeanor with his mother, Kathy.
Hey, Mom.
Hey!
What's up with that guy next door? I don't know, it just seems a little off.
Nico was really concerned with his behavior.
Yeah, Mark. He's definitely an odd duck.
So I thought, he's just antisocial, or he's awkward, or there's something wrong with him. I didn't really know.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Hey, how about you put the pot on? Help me cook dinner, okay?
Okay, Mom.
Kathy likewise becomes aware of the abnormal conduct Mark directs at the Sienna house.
I was waiting to get picked up by Hauser, my boyfriend at the time. Mark is walking in between the houses, and all of a sudden he did this somersault midair. And then he would sit in the chair and then just cross his arms and stare. I felt really uneasy. I wasn't sure what to make of him.
Mark was hearing voices telling him to do things, and he thought maybe it was the Sienna family directing him to do these things, like acrobatic somersaults or little flips.
Nice.
Thank you. Hauser picked me up. Mark just stared at us, with his arms crossed.
Is everything all right?
Yeah, let's just go.
And watched us drive away. In a creepy way.
Mark, what are you doing there?
Just taking it easy. I'll be in soon.
Mark believes the people next door are constantly watching him.
Mark had expressed a lot of
His antics increasingly unsettling.
We were starting to feel super uneasy and pretty unsafe just with the actions that Mark was doing. We would, leave and go for groceries. Mark would be sitting and he would just be staring at us.
Nice day, huh?
Just staring. Just didn't wave, didn't say hello, or anything like that. Mark would just stare.
Just ignore him. Get the grocery list?
We'd come back and Mark would be in the exact same position that he was. It's almost like he was a statue. He did not move. He would just be staring.
Who cares? Okay, let's just go in.
It's clear Mark was experiencing hallucinations, nonsensical, illogical threats that don't exist.
You're such a loser. What's wrong with this guy?
Oh, you're such a freak.
It would appear that Mark felt a little threatened by Nico.
These new perceived dangers weigh heavily on Mark's mind. He sets out to document the harassment from next door.
Mark purchased a camera and put it in the window that faces the Sienna home.
The Siennas are unaware they are being recorded.
Mark's camera would have faced my side of the house, so my bedroom. I never saw a camera. I did not even know there was a camera there.
I don't know what he was trying to prove. There is no evidence the Siennas had any intention to harm him whatsoever.
Lousy bastards. You better watch your back, Mark.
It's a quiet afternoon at the Duckett residence. But Mark's mental deterioration is getting worse.
Oh my god.
Mark? He would just scream in his bedroom, and they could hear it throughout the household.
Mark! Mark, I need you to unlock this door! Mark! Mark! Mark!
I'm more on edge when I'm seeing him because this behavior is not normal.
I don't think anybody involved in this ever thought that it would get to this point.
From the Duckett perspective, they had repeatedly witnessed Mark locking himself in his bedroom and screaming.
Mark! Mark!
What's wrong? Talk gently. Who's trying to get you?
He has a level of paranoia that is disproportionate to any problem in reality.
I really think it would be a good idea for you to maybe talk to a doctor.
No. What are they gonna do?
Trying to compel an adult to get psychiatric help can be a difficult process.
Well, they might be able to figure something out that...
It's easy to imagine that he would have been overwhelmed by the prospect of seeking help, or perhaps he actually had no self-awareness. Perhaps he did not know that he was spiraling.
I'm okay now. You guys can go back to what you're doing. Please.
People develop a fear of institutionalization, where we've seen, a number of abuses against vulnerable people occur. So I think in general, there's a lack of trust.
With his paranoia spiking, Mark Duckett has his own ideas about how best to protect himself.
So the guys are going to be working the barbecues, is that it? And we should bring salad and dessert?
Hey, Mom. Can I grab your signature?
What's it for? Just a second, Jill.
Just something I'm working on.
In a disturbing twist, his mother has just unknowingly sponsored Mark's firearm license application.
So,
One more.
hang on.
Annette claims that she remembers signing some forms but weren't aware of what they were about.
If you're a first-time applicant, you have to go through 16 hours of gun safety and gun history training, fill out a few forms, have some sponsors or witnesses sign those.
They're a typical government form, several pages, lots of fine print. There's a certain plausibility there. Who knows if Mark told her the truth?
Mark didn't have any previous interactions with police, so there wouldn't have been any red flags on that firearms license when they did go to process it.
Mark, after he gets his license, he obtains a Glock 9mm pistol.
There was, either a fear there and a belief that he needed a firearm to either protect himself, or there was always intent there in some way.
Mark's attention now shifts back to the Siennas.
Okay. Carstar had sent Nico for a weekend conference. It was in Chicago.
You two behave while I'm gone, okay?
Are you kidding? John and I are going to hit the clubs.
Yeah, ravers.
Great. Don't have any money.
Love you.
Love you.
Everyone. Loser. Freak. Pathetic.
Oh, I hope you guys stay.
Yeah, I always read him when he's on.
With Nico absent, Mark waits for nightfall to confront his neighbors.
My boyfriend Hauser had went back home for a visit. Alex was out for the evening, so it was just Jen and myself home. I opened it, and he was standing there.
Yes?
Can I come in?
No, you can't.
And I put my foot on the door, and I felt very uneasy.
What do you want?
We have a lot to talk about.
He was saying, oh, there's just so much to talk about, so much to discuss.
What?
And I thought to myself, like what?
It's late.
Then I'll address my concerns another time.
We know that he did have some perceptions that, the world was out to get him. Maybe he wanted to know, why are you watching me? What do you have against me? What have I done to frighten or hurt you?
As soon as I shut the door, made sure everything was locked, I just knew something is off. I was extremely uncomfortable, and I was afraid.
Mark believes his privacy and safety are under constant threat.
He didn't think he needed help. He did not know that there was anything abnormal about his personal demeanor or the thoughts inside of his head.
The Sienna family finds it difficult to ignore their neighbor's increasingly bizarre behavior.
Jen basically had the same opinion that I did, that he was very creepy, very weird, very odd. She was very scared too. So after this incident of him arriving at my door at night, I contacted the parents and expressed my concern.
Hi, Mr. and Mrs. Duckett.
Hi.
Do you have a minute?
Yeah, sure. What's up?
I want to talk to you about Mark.
What about him?
He's been coming over to my place and, at us. He's been knocking on my door and trying to come in.
It sounds like he's
Just trying to be friendly?
I think something else is going on with him.
We actually have a lot to do right now, so can we talk about this later? Yeah, we'll catch you later.
They just avoided. Just avoided. There was no more denial, and if you don't talk about it, then it's not happening. Sweep it under the carpet.
The breach between the heads of the households doesn't put an end to Mark's alarming displays.
Oh, it was ongoing for weeks.
One afternoon, Alex hears a noise in the space between her house and the Duckets.
Sometimes Mark would be singing to himself, or would appear to be singing to himself. There were no headphones that he was wearing or anything like that. Mark would do a somersault and then land on his feet, and then Mark would start laughing to himself. I don't know why I felt the need to document what was going on, but I just knew that I needed to take out my phone and take pictures and take videos.
He was having intrusive thoughts about how he thought he was receiving commands to perform stunts from them.
I took a video because it was so bizarre. Mark just looking into the window and giving Nico like this crazy stare.
Is he being weird?
Not even kidding me. Get out.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
We just started noticing this more increasingly bizarre behavior more often than not.
Alex grows more and more afraid of their neighbor's eccentric conduct, and it's nowhere near its peak.
We were starting to feel super uneasy and pretty unsafe. There was also a lot of times where I would just be looking out my window and he would just be staring at my window. I was scared because I didn't know why he was staring into my window.
He was staring at me.
My entire life, Nico was always in Big Brother mode. He was always protecting me from when I was small.
Okay, don't worry. He's not gonna get in here, okay? Not on my watch.
It's not really the best.
Kathy Sienna has her own suspicions about what's driving Mark Duckett's behavior.
I believe that Mark had a complete obsession with my daughter Alex, and when Nico started living home, he became a wedge between Mark and this obsession.
And this obsession is reaching a boiling point.
It's clear that things were getting worse and tensions were increasing, at least in Mark's head.
Mark's behavior had been building every day over the last 2 to 3 weeks. July 29th, 2019, it was a Tuesday. I would say maybe 8:30 to 9 o'clock p.m. I was just hanging out in my room and I heard a huge bang on my room, and then I heard a bang on that window.
Nico!
I called for Nico and Jen and I said, Mark's outside banging on the windows.
I've had enough of this guy bothering you.
Hey, could you cut that out?
Jen and I peek through the blinds, and all we see is a light flashing back at us. Nico had opened the front door, and Mark was hiding in the bushes.
Hey, man. Can you cut it out? Okay, you're scaring the women.
What's going on? I think he's still out there.
What's wrong with this guy?
Hey!
Can you give us a break, man? Seriously.
Kathy and her boyfriend Hauser are also home at the time.
He's still shining the light at us.
You know what? I've had enough of this. Like, I shouldn't have to live like this. I said, we're calling the police.
911, police, fire, or ambulance.
We have our neighbor acting irrational and he's banging on the windows, flashing a flashlight in the windows.
We just wanted something to be done about it because we were just being bothered in our own home for seemingly no reason. The cops arrived between 9:45 p.m. and 10 p.m. We told the police what had been going on with the peeping in the window, the lights.
This guy's been spying on my sister in her room for weeks.
Yeah, look, I even have a video of it.
The police talked to all 5 of us, and we showed him the video of Mark. We gave a description. We said it's the guy next door.
Do you have any weapons here?
No, of course not.
The police asked me that night, do you have any weapons in the house? I said no. So I'm assuming they would ask the same question to the Ducketts.
Sir, I need you to stay away from the family next door from now on.
I don't understand. I haven't done anything wrong.
A couple of uniformed officers went over and spoke to the Ducketts as well, and Mark denied what had happened.
Just stay on your property from now on, okay? Harassment charges will be filed if we get another complaint.
Yes, sir.
The responding officers don't question Mark about having any firearms.
If there's a concern of violence, you have to check for a firearm. If there's no overt threat of violence, it's not necessarily something that's mandatory.
That was the one opportunity that police had.
Aren't you taking him in?
No, we give him warning.
That's it. He's been harassing my family.
If anything happens again, just give us a call and we'll come right back. Okay?
Wow.
We just wanted them to do something. I didn't really get why nothing further was done.
You stupid idiot. We're sick of you. I've had it.
You know you're a mistake, right?
Calling the police has major implications, especially for people with mental unwellness. It could end in their death and has many times in this country. It was never harmless, not for Mark. How Mark perceived the police arriving triggered him into such an incredible state of defensiveness and confusion that he became incredibly harmful.
All hell broke loose that night.
Nico and Jen, Alex, they're all sleeping downstairs. Kathy's upstairs in her bedroom with her partner. The doors are locked.
In the dead of night, Mark approaches the Sienna residence again.
Not much goes on until about 3 hours after police have left, when there's a brick thrown through the window.
I had just fallen asleep, and then I heard this massive bang. Like, the loudest bang I've ever heard before. I was like, what is going on?
What was that?
I don't know.
Nico goes up the stairs, and then Jen and I are right on his tail.
Mark, it's okay, man. We don't gotta do this. We can be friends. We can just... Let's go. Please don't.
The air smelled like blood. It smelled like gunpowder and blood and glass, and it was just chaotic. And I had never heard a gunshot before other than on TV. What do I do? Like, where do I go? I have nowhere to go. I am hearing multiple shots. That was gunshots. It was sheer terror. So we run down the stairs and we had a backdoor exit, and I'm whispering in the phone to 911. Shots fired.
I can hear what you're saying. Shots fired?
Send help.
I was trying to use my little voice, and it sounded so loud in my ear. Like, I thought, he's gonna hear. Like, I'm next. Shot 12 times. Nico didn't have a chance.
He was shot in cold blood, and he was shot repeatedly.
run out the doors and we go outside of the house.
You're okay. We have to cross the street.
So I said to Jen, we're going to run out, we're going to go to the neighbor's house. And I'm in front of Jen and I kind of put my arm out and I stop her and I peek over. And then I see Mark Duckett run out of our front door and I see him get into his car and he drives away. We go back into the house and there's glass everywhere. And then that's when I see Nico lying on the floor. And then the next thing I heard was, "Not my brother! Mom! Not my brother!" And as soon as I heard Alex, oh my God, go. I opened the door. Oh my God, Nico! And there was Nico laying on the floor, face down, in a pile of blood.
My brother's been shot. What do I do?
At some point, I had both Jen's phone, and it was either my phone and my mom's phone, but I had two phones up to my ears.
Please, my brother was shot. Okay, I'm gonna through the ambulance. Don't hang up. Please hurry up. Please hurry up.
Okay, everybody listen.
And I had the other people saying, okay, you need to do CPR.
You have to turn him around. We have to start CPR, okay?
He said, you have to turn him over. And I turned him over, and it was so heavy. It took me and Jen so hard to get him to turn over. Jen was like out of her mind, distraught. I was doing chest compressions.
Mouth to mouth, okay, try it.
And then she was saying, you have to blow his mouth now.
Doing it right now. Nico.
I was covered in blood, and I was praying to God, don't take my son. And then the paramedics showed up, and they took over. And the ambulance never moved. The ambulance never moved. I knew then my Nico was gone. I knew he was gone.
Nico Sienna is pronounced dead at the scene. The gunshots next door don't awaken Annette and Paul Duckett, but their son's texts do.
He texts his mother a string of text messages about how being adopted has somehow led him to repeat the failures of his biological parents in the actions he's taken. Paul, wake up! Something's wrong with Mark. Then his mother is texting him back at the time saying, "What have you done?" His parents are aware something awful has happened, but clearly not understanding exactly what has happened and the magnitude of the crime that's occurred.
I ran over to the neighbors and I was going to rip them apart because they did nothing. This is your fault! My son is dead! And the cop grabbed me at the last second, and I did not care at that point because I knew my son was gone.
With both houses as potential crime scenes, the Sienna and Duckett families are each brought to the police station.
We also had the Ducketts leave their home because we had to conduct a search warrant, examine their home as well.
They drove us to the police station, and we were there for what felt like an eternity.
Mark Duckett drove to the mountain station, which is about 15 minutes away. He then left the gun on the front seat of his car, walked into the mountain station, and laid down on the ground in front with a spread-eagled, and surrendered and said, "I've just shot my neighbor, and I'm turning myself in." So the fact that he acknowledged what he did was obviously a crime and necessitated the response of the police. He received legal advice and adhered to that advice. All made us believe that he was criminally responsible for the act of first-degree murder, and that's why we arrested him.
Mark Duckett is charged and arraigned.
After the charges are first filed, that Mark's defense team decide that they're going to go with an approach, a defense of not criminally responsible. We know he was later diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia.
Not criminally responsible.
Do I think Mark Duckett has something wrong with him? Sure. Do I think that he was having a schizophrenic episode the night that he killed my brother? Absolutely not. I wholeheartedly believe that he retaliated because we called the police on him.
Mark is currently at a psychiatric hospital. It's about an hour and a half away from Hamilton.
Annette and Paul Duckett still live in their home. They must now deal with the consequences of their son's brutal violence.
Annette and Paul remain in contact and in support of Mark and in hopes of his rehabilitation.
Will he get out again? There is a possibility.
If Mark is ever released, he's coming after my family, the rest of us. He's going to finish the job. That's my fear. I'm very, very scared.
Kathy Sienna has filed lawsuits against the city, the police, and the Duckett family.
The justice system has just failed us on every level. I'm advocating for stricter gun laws, more follow-up, more background checks, a deeper delve into the psyche of these people that are getting guns.
The community of West Mountain is left shattered by Nico Sienna's murder.
You know, some people's lives will never be the same again. Jen moved out of the city. Hauser moved out of the city.
Hundreds and hundreds of people showing up to memorial services that were held for Nico. You know, people are naming their children after him now. That they really are wanting to memorialize the joy that Nico brought into their lives.
Kathy sells her home and moves away. She and her family have lost a beloved son and brother, but are determined to keep his memory alive.
You know, Nico's spirit, it lives on. It lives on with us all the time. And I try to live life to the fullest like he did. He was a beautiful soul, you know? And I have him right here. And this is how I have to remember my son, in these ashes. It's devastated his whole family. We'll never be the same. Never be the same. Broken heart forever.
Next time on Fear Thy Neighbor.
Donna, man.
It's not a closed door there. Everyone was always invited. When Anne moved in, it was a big change.
She's crazy.
It was a nightmare.
She was out for blood.
What did she have to do? Kill somebody?